got a f***ing owl.
Ow! Ow!
As of right now, you can pre-order the World of Warcraft Midnight expansion and get access to player housing. And it has changed everything for me. I'm not joking, I have been obsessed since I got my hands on it. Way more than I thought I would be, to be honest. I knew I would probably dig it, but it has really awoken something within me. I was at a party the other night and I'd be lying if I wasn't thinking about the changes I wanted to make to my banquet hall when I got home. I've spent a fortune on flowers. I didn't see that on my WoW bingo card, and I have spent hours arranging them in pots around my house. I'm a creative guy, I always have been. I make art and music, and I will always gravitate towards an opportunity to apply that creativity to anything I do. A lot of games like that I enjoy. I've spent a fair while messing around in Minecraft over the years, but not since Forza on the Xbox 360 have I been gripped to the point where I'm spending more time creating than I do actually playing the game that I admittedly already love. I remember looking at the stats for that Forza game and being shocked when it revealed that I had spent 2/3 of my total playtime just painting cars and applying decals. It has even made me put down my other love, Guild Wars 2, and that is no mean feat considering how much I was enjoying the Visions of Eternity expansion and the new classes that came with it. But yet here I am in my neighbourhood, tweaking, planning and embarking on missions into the world of Azeroth to obtain new decor. Now I know WoW has loads of achievements for you to get through, and for those who like that kind of thing, it is a completionist's wet dream. But I have never been particularly compelled to do that side of it, and if faced with a bit of a grind, would probably just give up and go and do something else. Sure, you got rewards of a sort for completing some of them, but none of them spoke to me. So why is it then that I suddenly find myself running through an old quest chain in the Eastern Plaguelands, scouring Wowhead articles just to get a bloody caravan to put in my garden? Blizzard did say that people should have a fair few items unlocked just from their time playing the game over the years, and this is true enough even for a casual like me. And having a decent amount of stuff to play with from the start and place in your TARDIS of a house meant that I was able to get all autistic about things and really cement my interest early on. I mentioned Guild Wars 2 a moment ago, and they too have recently released player housing, and I had a little bit of fun putting palm trees around my beachside property, and I had vowed to go back and see what more I could get out of it. But I am going to call it right here and now that Blizzard have knocked this out of the park. It is so much better. Sorry, my love. Just the way you decorate your house and the creative tools at your disposal feel very intuitive as you scale and nudge things into the perfect position and then step back to admire your handiwork. One thing I love about stuff like this is when you realise that you can push creativity beyond its basic function, like ignoring collision and combining different items to essentially make new items. What if I put one fancy lamppost inside a fancy font and hey presto, bingo bango, you've got something new and unique. Like when I saw a winemaking vat and just thought plant pot and stuck a tree in it and a load of flowers. Let me talk a bit about the mechanics of how you craft your perfect home. As I said before, first, you got to pre-order Midnight to get access to player housing, and when you do, you will get a quest pop up and you can accept it and go to your new neighbourhood. I'll be honest, I didn't really check what the choices were for selecting your island, or neighbourhoods as they are known, as I was just too thirsty to get my hands on that house, but it is an alliance or horde thing. Although you can live in a private neighbourhood that is typically run by a guild. As far as I know, I am in a public neighbourhood. Again, see previous comment about being too eager to get in a house. That and I don't have any friends. But who needs friends when you have a house? In Warcraft. Then you have a look around the map, find a free plot and claim it. The first one is free, like your friendly neighbourhood crack dealer, and then you will have to pay the piper for any subsequent houses. Just like crack, which you will also need a pipe for. Coincidentally, there are dealers in your neighbourhood, but they don't sell crack. We'll come back to them later. Once you find your sweet plot, I chose this one with a view of the coast on this slightly elevated position, you claim it and you are ready to begin. Click the big button and this will bring up the main menu on the left where you can browse, filter and start placing items. There is a handy grid system, and as you move stuff around it will snap to the grid and or walls and items you have already placed. This is a good way of getting stuff in a general position, and then you can use the advanced positioning. In this mode, you can delicately move your item across 3 different axes, rotate your item along those same axes, and then scale the item within certain limitations. And this is where you can start getting creative and take things to the next level. Like for example, when I started putting down flowers, you can get a better effect if you just tweak the size of each one a bit and provide a bit of variation. If you turn on the ability to ignore collision, as I mentioned earlier, you can then place items within items. For example, placing flowers inside the various bushes. Doesn't that look nice? If we go back to the wine vat I mentioned earlier that I used as a plant pot, you can see how I filled it with different stuff to create this rather fetching effect. And this is the thing, you don't have to use things exactly as they may have been intended. You got a glowing green fell candle? Why not hide that in amongst your flower display to create this fetching illumination for your chill out nature room? I used another fell brazier and put it behind my Tauran cultural appropriation wall hanging just to make it pop a little bit more. Lovely stuff. Seriously, I have stayed on the fairly classical side of things, but I was watching a preach stream where he was reviewing people's houses, and one guy built a fucking jumping puzzle in his giant tower of a house. Oh yeah, your house inside is not confined to the size on the outside, so you can keep adding rooms and going increasingly more nuts. I haven't done a trawl through YouTube yet because I just can't stop tweaking my own design, but I will, and I am sure there are some truly mad and wondrous creations out there. Stuff that not even Blizzard envisioned possible. As well as breaking all the rules with the advanced options, you can also change the style and colour of the outside of your house and the floors and walls inside at the click of a button. I decided to go with the Hobbit hole homely wooden beam look, except the banquet room, which required a little touch of stone on the floor. You can also see I went a bit mad with the green curtains and fabric everywhere, which I think we can all agree looks fucking fabulous. Dyes can be crafted if you have the right professions, but I ended up nipping to the auction house in Stormwind and paying over the odds for some Ongoro green because I cannot entertain having a colour scheme that doesn't match my hat. I did colour the outside of my house green, but the roof colour I chose didn't match the green I had dyed everything else, and some items cannot be dyed, which meant I had some blue external items that didn't match the green items. And of course I can't be having that, so blue on the outside, but green on the inside it is. And speaking of spending tons of gold on decor, there are vendors you can visit who will sell an impressive range of objects, but you can, as previously mentioned, pay way over the odds at the auction house, which I'll admit I did because I can't have a banquet hall without a bloody banquet, can I? I don't know if auction house prices will come down as things settle and the novelty wears off, but I guess I'm just a sucker who needs some more of that sweet Ongoro green. Each time you pick up a piece of decor, be it through buying it or unlocking it through an achievement or a drop, you earn some XP which increases your housing XP bar, very much like anything else in World of Warcraft. As you earn more, you unlock each level, and with each level comes more allocation points, meaning you can have more rooms and more items to add to your house. Collecting items, even if you don't use them, is still very useful, so you will travel around all over the game to find various vendors or running old dungeons to see what decor might drop just to get that XP boost and potentially something sweet that you've had your eye on. You can install the Homebound mod, which helps track what achievements give what decor so you can avoid grinding anything unnecessary. But there are plenty of lists forming on the internet of where to go to get things, and you also have a catalogue to browse in your main placement menu, like when your mum would bring home the Argos catalogue. One for the Brits. And this shit has got me traipsing across Azeroth in search of all kinds of things. Vendors will often require you to have a certain standing with a particular faction in order to be able to purchase the desired items, and so you embark on quest chains and grinds just to get precious things. See earlier mention of Fiona's caravan. You can also craft various items through your professions, which is something I have never really gotten into. Every now and then I think, why don't I get into crafting? I could become a master crafter and sell things on the auction house and become a contributing member to the WoW community. I'll never be a raider or whatever, but maybe my calling is a good honest craft. And then I would think, fuck that shit, that seems like a lot of work. But now, driven by the desire for decor and the increasing cost of my Ungoro green dye addiction, I'm running all over the Azure span looking for Rivebark and Hockenbloom. I wanted to get my inscription skill up in order to buy a thing to help me get my Valdrakken reputation up so I could buy a plate of food off some troll. It's a whole thing, don't worry about it. But even if I don't end up crafting my own shit, I feel like personally, I now finally have something to spend that gold that has been burning a hole in my pocket on. So maybe I'll just contribute that way. Maybe I'll just run around farming gold and buy stuff off the auction house to contribute to the in-game economy. Except for the Ongoro green dye. I might have to seize the means of production on that one. As a casual who generally likes playing through the main campaigns and just adventure around a bit, I do wonder what other areas of the game will this push me towards with my newfound incentive. Whilst housing on its own is a great addition, I am sure other players will also feel the same urge and potentially could lead to more casuals getting involved in more areas they have previously ignored. And there will be more to come when Midnight releases in full next year. Things like skybox rooms and new decor items that will no doubt be added as things progress are an exciting prospect. Oh, and the music in your neighbourhood while you decorate your house is extremely chill and really adds to the relaxing experience of nudging assets around and arranging your flowers. I do have a few things I would like to see, like the ability to invert decor along an axis so that I can have true symmetry rather than having to spin it 180 degrees and hope that the back of it looks like the front, which isn't always the case. The other thing is that if you scale items like a chair and make it bigger, when you sit on it, you don't sit on where the top of the cushion is now, but where the cushion was at 100% size. So suddenly your dwarf's head is sticking out of a cushion. So be aware of that when putting down seats. Otherwise, the scaling is great. Even after I took all this footage, I am still finding little ways and ideas to tweak my house, but I had to draw the line somewhere. So, behold, my 5-bedroom bastard house. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you've been up to in your house. Sure, this won't be for everyone, but I am positive that it is going to be very popular and certainly puts a fresh angle on the game. I don't know what I will do next. It's going to be hard to pull myself away from my house, but perhaps I'll have a go at Ashes of Creation when it comes out on early access. See how an extremely casual solo fella gets on in that. So keep an eye out and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.